This is the SP-404 Mark II. It's a sampler, effects processor, and just a dope machine in general. I'm gonna show you how I taught myself to make beats on this thing from scratch. If you're new here, my name is Finn, and I make beats. Sometimes with this contraption. All right, so here's the thing. I kind of want to just give a somewhat comprehensive walkthrough of how I make a beat from start to finish. I'm a sample-based producer, so I'm gonna load up a sample, bring it into the SP-404 and show you how I go about making a beat. I basically want to make the video that I wish was around when I got this machine. Let's just start from the very beginning. There's 10 banks, A through E, and then F through J. You press it twice, you go to the other bank. So A, F, B, G, C, H, D, I, E, and then J. You can load 16 samples on each bank. Do the math. There's 160 samples in one project. And you also have 16 projects. So this project that I'm on project 16. The rest of these are completely full. So the way that I like to make beats is I like to have one beat per bank, per pair of banks, actually. So A and F will be one beat. B and G will be another beat. C and H will be another beat. D and I, E and J. You get the idea. For every project, I'll have 5 beats. So the way I like to do it is I like to put my samples that I'm going to chop on the first bank. So in this case, I'm going to be working on D and I. So I like to put my samples on D, and then I'll put my drums on I. If it's flashing, it's on the second bank. So there's a couple ways to load samples into your SP-404. The way that most people do it is there's an SD card here on the side, take it out, put it in your computer, drag and drop, then you can go shift, import from SD card, and then you can get all your sounds. You have your drum kits, you have your samples, all that kind of stuff. It's all, you can access it directly from the machine. A little bit of a quicker, easier way that I like to do is this SP-404 app right here. So now it'll show you all of the stuff that's on here. The white spots are where samples are, and the black spot is an empty pad. So like I said, I'm going to be working on D and I, and I'm just going to drag it onto the first pad. Close this. Here's my sample. That's my sample. If I want to play all the way through, just turn the gate off. If the gate is off, it'll play continuously. If the gate is on, then it'll stop. So first thing that you could do is you can hit this button right here where it says start and end. And if you want to make your sample shorter than the full song, because a lot of times you're importing full songs, you can chop off the beginning part, press this data wheel in, and you would truncate. Truncate means to get rid of the parts that are not highlighted. So if you have a little bit of silence at the beginning of your sample, then you would go to the very first transient of your sample, and then you would truncate that little bit of silence at the top. But because this is right up against the beginning, I don't need to do that. I can cancel. If you want to chop now, you hold shift and then press chop. So now you can do what they call a lazy chop. You could also hit menu and auto mark. So you could do it by time division. You move this, you want 16 chops, you want 8 chops, you want a weird number of chops, transient. You can do it by transient, but you only have 16 pads to work with. So transient might be not the greatest idea to do so. So I'm just gonna go exit. As I press the first one, it'll start playing since the gate is off, and then I press the next key to lock in the next chop. Now that I have my chops, I can use this data wheel just to zoom out so I can see the transients better, and then I could just refine my chops. Again, I'm using this wheel to zoom in, and then this M mark, I am moving that, which is the second control knob or whatever you call it. I don't know what it's called. And as we see, I press resample and it does the zero cross snap, meaning it'll put it right at 0 for each chop, so it'll avoid some of those popping sounds that you get when you're chopping. There's other ways to go around that, but that's one way. Press resample and you could do 0 snap. Okay, so once you have your chops, I got 16 chops here, pressed on the data wheel. I like to go assign to pad, and then you can press mark and then it would automatically do it, but just to be sure, I just press them in order. And then you press enter, and then it's adding it to each pad. So another trick is if you hold shift, it'll affect the whole bank. So I'll turn the gate off for all of them. Shift and exit is to stop it. If it's playing too long and you don't know how to stop it, shift and exit. I think exit twice. Okay. Do exit twice. I've been doing shift exit for the longest time, but same thing. Okay, so now if you notice, I'll play 1, and they're not cutting each other off. So what you need to do is put them in their own mute group. And you can see here on the shift menu over here, you hold shift, pad 8, and this is your mute groups. The way I like to do my mute groups, I know that this is pad D, obviously. This is bank D, so I put it on mute group D. And you just want to select all of them, and then now when you press them, they will cut each other off. Watch. All right. What I'm gonna do is add my drums first. So so I can play my samples to a drum beat. Like I said, I'm gonna go to bank I to put my drums. Hold shift 14, which is import, export. I'm gonna go import from SD card. It's a sample. And then I'm just gonna go and look for my drum kits. Let's go check out the homie JR Swift. And then you're just gonna go through and pick your sounds. Let's go 303 drums. And then you just hit the pad that you want it on, press down. Hit the pad you want it on, press down. I like to just grab more than I need. And then same thing, I'll hold shift and gate because I want this to play the whole length of the one shot. So you could do a little bit of gain staging right now if you wanted to. So what you want to do is this pitch and speed. So that hi-hat is too loud in my opinion. So where it says volume, this right one. And you could also play with the pitch too if you want to. Hi-hat's a little loud. If you're finding this useful, make sure you go subscribe, give the video a like, really helps the channel. So now I got my drums, or at least some of them. So what you want to do is go to pattern select. Make sure you're on the correct bank, which is bank D, because I want to save that. I want to save the beat that I make in bank D to the pattern select D, if that makes sense. So what you want to do is press record, pick a pad. Now you pick your BPM. You could always change this for your drums at least, because it's basically just MIDI information. Let's go like 83. See the strength right here? This is your quantization. For my drums, I don't want it to be quantized. Let's do a 4-bar loop. And then you press record. Make sure you're on I, where your drums are. D is where the samples is. And what I do right now is I press record, and it'll put it in the rehearsal, meaning that it's not recording. I can mess around and try to find my and then basically all you want to do is press record when you're ready to start recording. See, now it says recording. I'm gonna wait till it gets back around. 4, 3, 2, 1. I press record again, put it into rehearsal. When it's blinking, it's in rehearsal. Add my ghost kicks. Rehearsal. Record. So that's basically my drum pattern. What I like to do now, just so that nothing, gets messed up, I'll press copy. I'll copy this to another pattern. Press copy again. So now it's basically the same thing twice. So if I record something on 2 and I don't like it, I could just make another copy because it's a little bit more complicated. Undoing is too complicated on this thing, in my opinion. We could even just play it and then mess around with our samples and see what we come up with. Press pattern select to come back to your regular banks, and then remember, like I said, if you go to pitch and you want to hold remain, when you're in this menu, in this pitch speed, you hold remain and it'll affect this whole bank. So I want to pitch these up a little bit, get a different. Something like that. So then go back to pattern select, press play, pattern select again, and we can test it out. So it goes something like this, or go like this. I could actually just press record and wait for it to start over at the 4. 3, 2, 3, 1. That's not bad. pad. So I'm gonna actually copy the drums again to another pad, and then I'm just gonna try the regular pattern that I did before. Press record, press pattern 3, 4 bars, all the same parameters, all the same characteristics, whatever you want to call it. And then you press record, 2, 1. You notice what I said? I messed up, so now I gotta delete it, copy, make a new version. Record, 2, 1. So all right, I like how that sounds. So I'm going to turn down the sample because I want my drums to punch through a little bit harder. So like I said, you hold remain and then your volume. Let's just go down. Let's hear it in the mix first. All right, so now based on the new software update, what you can do to get it a little bit more punch and have your sample kind of move out of the way for your drums. As of version 5.5, you can now do sidechain, which is something that SP-404 users have wanted since the beginning of time. What I'm going to do is set my source. So what you want to do is go Shift, Effects Settings. You want to scroll with this fourth wheel all the way over to Sidechain. And your source is going to be bus 2. Go to bus 2 with this bus effects thing. Go over to bus 2. Hold remain. So now my 2 kicks are on bus 2. So now when I play this back, it should duck out of the way for the sample. You hear it? It's a little bit too extreme. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. All right, so another little trick, what you can do is if you want to copy just, because I have just the drums there. If I want just the sample, what I would do is I'll copy this to here. I'll press remain, and then you go to you go to, these are all the pads that I used for that sample. Press copy again, and now. So basically what you're doing when you press remain, you're selecting the pads that are in that sample that you want to copy over and leave everything else on the other pad. Do it again, copy 3 to 7, press remain, and then I'm selecting the sample. And then I'm pressing copy again, and then it is copying just the samples and not the drums onto pattern 7. Get it? Okay, and then if you want that 404, charm, you go to Shift 16, and then you're moving this fourth thing over here. So at the beginning, you basically chain together the buses. So this is basically like a master bus. So you can have I could show you. On bus 3 and 4, you could have two different things going on. So what I like to do, I already have a preset. So on bus 3 and 4, I got the 303 vinyl simulator on bus 3 and the cassette simulator on bus 4, just to give it that dusty tape sound so you could hear the difference. So let's take it off, play the beat. All right, so that is basically a quick and dirty start to finish beat on the SP-404 Mark II. This is a little bit more complicated than, say, an MPC. Just keep that in mind, that it is a little bit of a learning curve and you might not get it right away. It's taken me a while to learn how to use this as good as I can use it now, and I'm far from the expert. So that is how I make a beat on the SP-404 Mark II. If you're new here, my name's Finn, and I make beats. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. With that being said,